Now, many times what happens in the event of a claim, many parts, they are not damaged or they remain in sound condition. This policy stands extended to include replacement or reinstatement cost of undamaged portion of the parts, subject to condition. There are conditions. That means the insurance company agrees to pay for undamaged portion of the property also, subject to these conditions. This is also very important cover for the client, because in general situation, in normal situation, in absence of this add-on cover, insurance company will not pay for any undamaged property or undamaged, which is not damaged in the incident. Why should I pay for that? But having taken this add-on cover, you can cover that portion, undamaged portion also, provided such replacement or reinstatement of undamaged portion or part of the property is necessary, as may be certified by the surveyor. Surveyor confirms that you have to undamaged portion reinstatement is also required. That means at the time of reconstruction of property, undamaged portion will also be demolished and it will be reconstructed. Okay. And another thing is, by such replacement of undamaged part, there is no technical improvement. This is another thing is because as per the principle of indemnity, we are supposed to place you in the same position where you were prior to the loss. So improvement in performance, capacity, or output should not be there. So this is another thing. Otherwise, we will not pay. We will pay provided it is certified by the surveyor. Yes, it is required. Another thing is, it does not increases your technical efficiency of the machinery. Third is, your claim is payable only if there is an admissible claim under the main policy. Of course, this is the prime condition. Everything is covered provided the basic claim is admissible under the policy. Brand and trademark clause. This is very important for the clients. Brand and trademark clause. What it says, that in the event of loss or damage by an insured peril, here the condition is loss or damage by an insured peril to the property bearing a brand or trademark. Many times the companies, they put their trademark, they stamp their brand's name, trademark, sign on the parts. In that situation, in case of damage to that particular machinery, where each and important components are, trademark sign is there, they carry a trademark sign. In that situation, they hesitate in surrendering the salvage to the insurance company. Reason being, it carries their mark. They don't want their trademark is sold in kabaddi market. Okay, so in that situation, this clause helps them. What it says, in the event of loss or damage to that property, which is bearing a brand or trademark, the salvage value of such damaged property shall be determined after removal of all such brands and trademarks or identifying characteristics. Why? The salvage of these things along with trademark will fetch a very high value. Insurance company would be beneficial, but the client would be at loss because their name is sold in kabaddi market. So in that situation, the insured, the client has got full right to keep possession of all these damaged parts and retain control of all damaged goods. Okay. The insured exercising all discretion shall be the sole judge whether the goods involved under this policy are unfit for consumption or for sale. He will decide whether it can be sold in open market. And if at all it is to be sold in open market, then all these trademarks, they can be removed. Okay. They are scratched. Many times they are scratched before handing it over to the insurance company. In that case, insurance company cannot argue or dispute why you are removing your trademark, because as per this clause, insured is the sole judge. They have the full right of removing the mark. Or in case they decide, I don't want to hand over this, he has got full right to keep possession of all these goods, subject to deduction of reasonable salvage value. Insurer shall be free to direct a reasonable salvage value at their discretion. Okay. They cannot compel the client to surrender the salvage before settlement of the claim. This is important. Immediate repairs. This is also very important. What it says, it is hereby agreed and declared that in case of admissible loss, the client can immediately begin or repair or reconstruction work, and subject to the condition that it shall remain open to supervision by the company or their representatives. This is important. They can start the work immediately without waiting for the surveyor. So this clause helps. Otherwise, what your normal conditions is that you cannot start repairs unless it is surveyed. The surveyor visits your site, he takes the photograph, he takes the cause of loss and other initial details, then only you can start the repairs. It may take 3 days, it may take 4 days. Okay, whatever is the time, you are not supposed to restart. But with the help of immediate repairs clause, you can start the work immediately. Subject to the condition that the sole object of this condition is not to deprive the insured from the use or operation of the properties which may be necessary to the insured business, so that he does not lose the opportunity of business and manufacturing of the project. That means BI is avoided. He can start the repair work immediately, subject to certain conditions that it will be open to the supervision by the company. And another thing is, it is also agreed that evidence of the loss shall be photographs. The client is supposed to take the photograph before carrying out the repairs work in damaged condition. Immediately on happening of a loss, he is supposed to take the photograph. He can start the repairing work, okay, whatever is necessary, so that he can start the production by in some way. Even at a lower capacity, he can start the production. He can do that. Later on, the surveyor will visit. He will assess the loss, and all these expenses which have already been carried out, they will be taken into care at the time of payment of final claim. It will be a part of final repairs. Expediting cost. This is very simple. In case the client, he incurs some additional expenses to pay for the temporary repairs of the insured damaged property and to expedite permanent repairs or replacement of such damaged property. Expedite means you pay holiday wages, your express freight you pay overtime to the workers for expeditious repairs of the machinery. Okay, in order to avoid business interruption loss. Say, for example, you don't have BI policy. In that case, the client is always interested in doing his repairs at the earliest possible. So whatever additional expenses he is incurring, first of all, he can start the temporary repairs, no issues. At the same time, at the time for final repairs, he can incur additional money in bringing the parts by express freight. He can pay overtime to the workers so that the repairing is completed at the earliest possible. So these additional costs would be payable under expediting cost, subject to agreed loss limits. Loss limits are always, it goes without saying, nothing is unlimited. For each and every add-on cover, loss limit is defined. Okay, whether 5 crores or 10 crores, 15 crores, whatever is agreed between the insurance company and the client. Then your deferred payment. Nowadays, this has also become very, very common. Deferred, it is a dangerous cover, but since it has become a practice in mega policies to take this cover, it is not good. It is not in favor of insurance company, but still we are giving up to a certain loss limit. What it says, let us see. Now it says this policy covers insured physical loss or damage to the property where loss of property of the insured sold by the insured under a conditional sale. That means he is giving on deferred payment basis. That means he is selling a good on installments. Simple. 100% collection of money is not done. He has sold it at 50% of the payment, and remaining 50% he has given a sort of installments facility, deferred payment plan. That means installment facility has been given. In that case, ideally, the property has already sold to someone, and the possession of the property is also handed over to the customer, but 100% payment is not taken. Ideally, this goes out of the purview of the policy because insurable interest is goods are already sold. But what it says, in the event of a loss of property sold under deferred payment plan, the insured will use all reasonable effort, including legal action, if necessary, to effect collection of outstanding amount due or to regain the possession of the property. That is secondary. But what it says, insurance company will make payment to the extent of remaining installment. Say, for example, 25% payment is due. So in the event of damage to that property, the insurance company will be responsible to the extent of 25%. Coverage is limited to the unpaid balance of such property. So in nutshell, what it says, if the goods are sold in installments, insurance company will still be liable to pay for the loss for the unrecovered portion of the cost. Understand? Goods are sold. It is being used by third party, but still we are extending our coverage to the extent your liability is due. Okay, hope it is clear.
Now, how far it is useful as such? I mean to say this is as good as EMI payment.
It is useful for the client, na? That even after the goods are sold, it has left my premises, but still my policy is covering to the extent my liability is standing against that buyer. Say, for example, still 50% payment is still due, and there is a total loss of that property. In that case, I will recover from the insurance company. My dear sir, I have collected only 50% of the payment under this deferred payment clause.
That total loss of the property would have occurred at the buyer's place, even though
total loss of the property has taken place
at
buyer's premises. Yes, at the customer's premises.
So we are agreeing to the coverage of the I mean to say pending payment when the loss has occurred at some other place other than the insured premises.
Exactly.
As because the
client that is why I say it is a very wider cover.
Okay.
Client has no control. Customer is under the control of the customer. But still we are agreeing by virtue of this add-on cover. That is why I say it is not to be given. But still, due to unhealthy competition, everybody is selling this add-on cover.
Okay, thanks. Sir, what about the second point of the legal action?
That it says that the insurance company will make the payment, provided insured uses all reasonable effort, including the legal action, if required, if necessary, to effect collection, for making collection. It is as good as subrogation, that we will pay you the loss. Okay, remaining 50% I am paying, but it does not mean that you remain silent. You keep on making your effort for collection of remaining 50% of your amount.
Sir, here the profit element is also involved, whether the we will consider the cost price of the seller
नहीं, sold नहीं, यहाँ पे वो फंडा नहीं है. यहाँ पे क्या है, whatever is the market the sold price.
Okay.
The selling price was 500 rupees. 250 you have collected, remaining 250 is outstanding. So what we are covering is outstanding amount we are covering, basically.
Thanks.
Okay. So this is a dangerous add-on cover for the insurance company, but it is a very good cover for the insured, for the client. That even after selling of the goods, the policy covers that. Extension of policy coverage is there For the balance amount, whatever is not recovered, still it can be recovered from the insurance company, subject to all these conditions, blah, 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 which is insurance company is not going to sincerely follow all these things, whether you have taken a legal action or not. It is on record only. Practically, it is impossible to follow up. Once you pay the claim, matter ends. You close the file and do some other work.
So this is open to as per whatever the outstanding, so irrespective of the loss limits also, or should we keep some loss limits?
It has to be with loss limit, of course.
Correct.
Please, I have not written, but it does not mean that everything is unlimited. Sorry, it is, everything is with loss limit. Understand? All these add-on covers, nothing is unlimited. It is with the loss limit. In general, nowadays the practice is 5 crores loss limit is given to all add-on covers. This is the general practice as per the market agreement, and which is acceptable to GIC also. This is property goods held in trust. Now, this is also a very important cover. Many of you must be aware of this, goods held in trust. So it covers the property, the policy covers the property belonging to others, including but not limited to goods under as a consignment, held in trust, or leased or on lease, or paid for awaiting delivery, for which insured may be held responsible. So whatever this cover applies in job workers' premises, where they work for others. They do not have any property. They take raw material will come to their premises, they will process and give it back. But during the course of processing, if a loss takes place, it is covered in goods held in trust cover. Otherwise, without this add-on cover, the claim will not be paid because they do not have insurable interest in that property, because goods are belonging to third party. Okay, and it is also given with certain limits. Here, loss limit is not given. Here, the amount of property is defined. Up to goods, up to sum insured of 20 crores are covered, or 25 crores are covered. Here, loss limit is not given. Now, deliberate damage clause. Now, initially, I was very confused. Deliberate damage means intentionally you are damaging your property and still you are claiming. But if you look at the wordings, what it says, it covers the physical loss or damage to the property, okay, or expenses incurred by the insured directly caused by an act or order of government authority. This yellow worded is very important. If you are compelled to demolish your property, okay, due to an act of government authority, who is acting under the powers vested upon them to prevent or mitigate the damage or threat thereof. Example, pollution hazard. So if the government authorities, they are deliberately forcing you to deliberately damage effluent treatment plant. If the effluent treatment plant is not up to the mark as per the desired specification, they can force you to destroy. And in that situation, since you are compelled to destroy your effluent treatment plant, insurance company will pay this cost under this add-on cover. Because you are compelled to damage this property by an order of government authority. Why? Because it is creating pollution hazard for the public. Understand? But there is a rider. Rider is, what is that? Provided such act of government authority has not resulted from lack of due diligence. The client, there should not be any lack of due diligence. If the client was careless or he did not comply with the specified norms of the government at the time of construction, in that situation, this clause will not work. Consequential losses are not covered. Only material damage losses payable. So this is all about add-on covers. Main add-on covers I have included here, and then we will talk about clauses. But before that, I'll give you, just now I was recalling one example that recently we have seen a policy, project insurance policy, where international terms have come, and that is taken by the client, where 100 crores in excess of 100 crores. What does it mean? The policy deductible is 100 crores and the loss limit is also 100 crores. This is what, and it is a mega policy because sum insured is more than 2,500 crores. But for a particular property, for a particular peril, the limit specified is only 100 crores. The company will not pay more than 100 crores and in excess of 100 crores. So 100 excess 100. This is the term, international term. In that particular case, I will not name it, but those who are dealing with this particular case, they might have understood which case I am talking. So these are the international terms. Understand? Premium is charged accordingly, and the premium is reduced much below the premium quoted by GIC. But GIC gave higher limits, lower deductibles. But international market, this is what I am saying now. In case of your mega policy, things can be played like this. Deductibles can be increased, loss limits can be reduced, and then premium can also be reduced drastically. Now it is up to the client. There is no compulsion. You can't compel. These are my terms. I say I will charge half of the premium which your Indian market is charging, but my loss limit is restricted to 100 crores and my policy deductible is increased to 100 crores. If you agree, fine, take it. Otherwise, you go with Indian terms. This is the way international market they work. And for a particular peril, okay, they say only AOG peril. AOG peril means cyclone peril. So in case of any cyclone loss, this will be my limit. Is that clear? These are wonderful examples of global policy, mega policies. Mega policies does not mean everything goody. No, sometimes restricted covers are also there. They put a loss limit. Sometimes they delete certain peril. In one of the case, I have seen your Flexa peril itself is deleted. Can you believe the client has agreed? No Flexa. Only AOG cover is there. Flexa cover is not there. This is again a specific case which has been quoted by a reinsurance company. Understood? So this is the way markets are placing the risk and a global risk, big risk, mega risk with certain restrictions. Because in that situation, the Flexa risk was very high. Then the market said, no Flexa cover. Okay. Now, another thing I would like to tell specifically why these restrictions are covered is imposed when the risk is already underwritten by an insurance company and the company is not having 100% capacity to absorb the risk, or at the time of finalization, when the terms and conditions were finalized, it was found that some of the that reinsurance company has not supported, local reinsurance company has not supported. In that situation, that company has to go to international market for placement. And in that situation, they may quote differential terms. These are known as differential terms. That I have issued the policy at deductible X, but my reinsurers, they are not agreeing. They say I will charge 2X deductible. You have given full loss limit to the sum insured, but reinsurer may say, sorry, it was a wrong decision on your part. I will not pay you more than 100 crores of each and every loss.